Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're back again with another video today. Today's video, we're going to be rounding up Matchweek 14's Premier League fixtures. I think it's Matchweek 14. Please forgive me if I got that wrong. But nevertheless, some interesting results that happened over the weekend. First off, Manchester City eventually beating Leeds 5-4 in the end. Really spectators game or a neutrals game. We've seen 9 goals in that fixture. A little bit concerns or some worrying signs for me as a Man City fan for Manchester City. First of all, I think in our attacking positions, we're really great. We really showcase what we are capable of doing from an attacking standpoint. We've seen Erling Haaland reach his milestone 100 Premier League goals in 111 matches. He's now the fastest Premier League player to reach 100 goals. I think he's just quicker than Alan Shearer, who also does hold the current Premier League record for all-time goal scorer. So, yeah, fantastic achievement for Haaland, first of all. Um, I mean, we all know what his capabilities are as a striker. He's maybe not the best out-and-out player, but nevertheless, he's a striker. He's there to score goals. Another record that he broke. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think he will manage to break Alan Shearer's record? I personally think so. If he stays the length of his contract, I think that it is highly possible. I think at the rate that he's going right now, he could reach close to 300 Premier League goals. So yeah, we know that Alan Shearer, I think, is on 264. So yeah, that's also quite a stretch. At the stage, he's 165 goals behind Alan Shearer. I think maybe by the end of the season, he could because right now I think he's like on 15 goals. I think he could be on, I think he can reach 30 goals by the end of the season, Premier League goals, or even more, 35, because he's currently on track to reach about 38 goals, 40 goals, close to 40 goals. If he does that, he'll break another record. He'll break his previous record with the most Premier League goal score in a season. Um, Mo Salah held that record, or was a joint record between him and someone else. But nevertheless, fantastic achievement for Erling Haaland. He's an elite striker for sure, in my opinion. But yeah, contributing factors from the Manchester City team, I think Tijani Reinders had a decent game, even though he scored that goal. For me, he's more of an attacking player as well. He can play that number 8, number 10 role, but I think that number 8 role suits him a little bit more. We've seen another fantastic performance from Phil Foden, scoring a brace again, 2 goals, back-to-back brace. I think for us in the season, I think Foden is going to be key, because I think he's one of the senior players. He's been there, he's done that, got the medals. He's been around the senior teams for a long time. Him and Bernardo Silva, I would think, are the only 2 senior players left in the team. Yes, Ruben Diaz. Oh yeah, as well as John Stones as well. So Ruben Diaz is also in that senior role, but the players that has been there since Pep has been there, John Stones, Bernardo Silva, as well as Phil Foden. So he's definitely going to be key for Manchester City this season. I think that Haaland will also be a key player for us this season. But yeah, another fantastic performance from Phil Foden. It's going to be interesting to see how we can continue this form at least until the next international break. So yeah, it's really going to be interesting, and I'm really curious to see how we manage this couple of fixtures that will be happening over the next few weeks. Defensively, I still think that we can get caught at. There's a lot of work that we need to do defensively. So some question marks on that right back position with Nunes as well as Gvardiol. Gvardiol, over the last 2 games, he hasn't had a particularly great game, in my opinion. So I think that is really going to be key that we keep that defensive solidity. If we're really going to, push for the title. it's really going to be key that we, try and be a little bit more solid in defense. So yeah, defensively we still have some questions to answer, and I think that that's a place where teams are going to exploit the most, because attacking, I think we're great, we're fantastic attacking wise. It's just that defensive positions that we need to work on. So yeah, more fixtures coming up this weekend. Manchester City will be at home against Sunderland. Sunderland doing pretty well right now. We've seen what they've done to Liverpool last night. In fact, I think we'll jump onto Liverpool match again. More drop points for Liverpool. um, they came from behind, equalizing late on in the game, or not late on, around about the 68th, 70th minute. They equalized, but still a lot of questions need to be asked or answered in that Liverpool team. I just think that they're not yet quite there yet at this moment in time. um, I know we've speak about this a lot in our previous videos, but I don't know. I guess it's Arne Slot's job to try and figure out what he's going to do with his Liverpool team, because I think one of the biggest part is the team morale. Seeing that they've lost so many games over this past few weeks, that has really killed the team morale and the team spirit as well. So it's kind of like they doubting themselves as well. And hey, sorry about that, guys. I actually just ran out of some the space, but nevertheless, yeah, we were speaking about Liverpool. So yeah, Liverpool at this point in time, they really need to. I don't know. I keep saying this in all my videos. They really need to figure out a way how they're going to fix this issue that they're having right now. Like I said, team morale is a big one. The confidence is not really at the place that they where it should be. But I think that even though they're having a difficult time, I think that they still hold a threat, or they still pose a threat to any teams. Even though right now a lot of teams are a little bit more brave, and that teams will go at Liverpool, seeing that they're vulnerable. And we all know how it goes. Once teams sense that little bit of vulnerability, all the teams are going to come in and attack you. So it's kind of like a snowball effect. We've seen what happened with Manchester City last season. They lost a couple of games, but then teams kind of like, so you know what, we can really get at this team. So yeah, that's what's happening right now to Liverpool at this moment. But yeah, another disappointing result for Liverpool and their fans. I think they sit now on eighth on the table. Um, Even though they sit eighth on the table, I mean the points gap is not really that big. Um, Up until top four, I think Arsenal are just over 10 points ahead of Liverpool at this point in time. But I mean, up until top four, it's still probably below 10 points. So they can really turn their season around, and they can, once they get their confidence back and figure things out, they can really turn their season around towards the end of the season, or hopefully the next couple of games. So yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see how Liverpool can manage that. On the other hand, Chelsea, again, disappointing result for Chelsea, losing 3-1 at Leeds. Leeds was a tough match. No, not Leeds. Was it Brighton? Because we played Leeds the other day. But nevertheless, um, Chelsea lost, a disappointing result for Chelsea. I know some people were saying Chelsea are in the title race. In my opinion, I still think that they have some work to do. Just quite not yet there. I think that if they had Cole Palmer in the team, I think that they would be more of a threat. But right now, I don't think so. Yes, they will cause a lot of upsets to teams, and they will probably fight for top four. In fact, I think they will fight for top four, because that's what they're aiming for as well. Um, so yeah, I don't think that they're out to win the Premier League, but who knows? Chelsea is a little bit of a novelty. They can do anything. We've seen what happened in the Club World Cup. They were basically underdogs, or not even underdogs. They weren't even considered as contenders, in my opinion. It was the likes of PSG coming off the back of a treble, as well as Real Madrid. They were kind of like the favorites, but yeah, Chelsea, a little bit of a dark horse, will definitely upset a lot of teams this season, and I think that they'll be there and thereabout. Really, they'll be there and about. And I think from a Manchester City standpoint, fan, um, I think that we're gonna need Chelsea's help also along the way, as well as Manchester United, as well as all the other teams that will be facing Arsenal, if I can put it that way. So yeah, Chelsea, another disappointing result for them as well. They currently sit fourth on the table. Surprisingly, Aston Villa jumped up to third place, 1 point behind Manchester City. They won 4-3 last night. A fantastic result for them as well. And I think that they will be there and thereabout. They'll definitely have their eyes on Europe, whether it's Champions League, preferably for them. But they'll definitely have their eyes on Europe, whether it's Champions League or Europa League. We know that Unai Emery is the Europa League specialist, so I think that competition will suit them more to qualify. I think that Champions League is just uh, a lot for them, but nevertheless, yeah, they having a pretty decent season. There is quite a lot of teams that we didn't expect to have, decent seasons that are currently having decent seasons so far. The likes of Aston Villa, as well as Newcastle, as well as Sunderland, another surprising one again. So yeah, Arsenal go away to Aston Villa at Villa Park this weekend. Can they cause an upset? They can. I think so. They really, they can, especially with Arsenal being a little bit more vulnerable in defense. Yes, they had a clean sheet. Last night they also won the game 2-0. Um, they won the game last night 2-0. Fairly comfortable game for them, but Aston Villa is another test for them. Will they drop points? I guess we'll wait and see if they'll drop points. A draw will do us good. I think we missed our chance when we lost to Newcastle, because that was the same weekend when Arsenal dropped points. We could have capitalized on that. So sometimes we always make it difficult for ourselves. But yeah, let's see what happens this week with the upcoming fixtures. I will probably do another video previewing this week's Premier League fixtures as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these teams can manage, especially going into this period where there's midweek games and weekend games. I think next week is Champions League. We're back with the Champions League next week. So yeah, we will do a preview on the Champions League fixtures also that will be happening next week as well. And of course the Premier League fixtures that will be coming up. So yeah, games are really interesting now. I think the Premier League, not yet, the table is not yet taking shape yet. I think we will be able to see that um, come the winter transfer window, or in December, January. That's when we will be able to see if the Premier League will take shape, because that's normally the time when it does take shape. Because right now the teams are too close to each other. The points difference is not even that much. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens in January. Let's see how the table shapes up. And then also another interesting thing, I was watching an interview on Talksport with Brad Friedel, as well as who's this guy, Darren Bent. Yes, I was watching an interview with him, and Brad Friedel actually said something very interesting about Arsenal. The biggest thing is the psychological factor of them. Yes, they are the best team right now in the Premier League, and I also do genuinely think so. They are the best team in the Premier League, but the best teams don't always win. So he actually said something very interesting. Psychologically, that's the biggest test for Arsenal, to see if they will be able to get over that hurdle. Because once it starts to get crunch time here towards the end of the season, that creep of doubt is going to start creeping in their minds and thinking, you know what, can we really do this? And especially if Manchester City is hot on their tails, they're definitely going to feel the pressure. So, and that's the biggest thing for me. They never won it before, so they do not have that winning mentality. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but they don't have that winning mentality where when it's crunch time, it will happen. Yes, we can say the same thing with Pep. When he came into the team, it was a fairly new team. That team didn't have a winning mentality. um, but the likes of Aguero was there, Company was there, David Silva was there, and Pep himself. And I think that's the factor, that's the biggest thing that sets Manchester City apart from the rest of the Premier League teams. And it's Pep for me, in my opinion. Yes, Manchester City is a fantastic team, but for me, Pep is the difference. Yes, he had a terrible season last season, but for me, that's the difference. That guy knows how to win. He is the X factor for Manchester City in my opinion. Yes, you can talk about Haaland, De Bruyne over the years, Phil Foden currently, but it's Pep. For me, it's Pep. And as long as he's there, it's really going to be difficult for a lot of teams to, compete for. Okay, look, teams will compete for the Premier League, but to actually go out and win it, it's going to be very difficult. That's why, in my opinion, I thought, yes, Manchester City had a fall off last season. Pep was also going through his own personal issues as well, but that was a window that opened for the rest of the Premier League. And yes, look there, Liverpool took advantage and they won the Premier League. Did they win it by fluke? I don't know, because if they really meant it, they would have gone out and challenged for the title. But it doesn't look like it, especially with their intentions. They showed us that they wanted to retain the title by the amount of money that they spent. So yeah, talking about money, we're not really going to go too much into that from a Manchester City's perspective, but yeah, it's really going to be interesting. I know that I'm saying that a lot, but yeah, in my opinion, Pep is still the X factor. Yes, Arteta won the Premier League as a coach, but it was Pep all along. Pep all the way, and he is he is the deciding. He is the decider. So yeah, in my opinion, I still think Manchester City will win it come the end of the season. I know it's a little bit too soon to say, but I really back my team. I can see how we are playing. Yes, we have some defensive issues to figure out to fix, but I think that we're going to snatch it. We're going to nick it from Arsenal, because I think that they psychologically it's going to be really tough for them towards the end of the season. But let me know in the comment section, who do you think is going to win the Premier League? I still think Manchester City will, even though Arsenal are the favorites right now, but I still think Manchester City will win the Premier League. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the games that happened over the weekend. Last night and on Tuesday, but we will definitely preview this weekend's games that will be happening over the weekend. This coming weekend, we'll also do a Premier League or a Champions League preview as well. So yeah, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bells, for just so that you know when are we dropping another video. But again, thank you so much for your support. I'll check you guys in the next video. Peace out.